a couple different clips from Scott Jennings, who battled with this lame ass professor on Abby's show about this very issue. The first clip, the professor is like talking about how, all this propaganda. And Scott was like, define propaganda. They get into a back and forth about it. And of course, when Scott gets riled up, it's very, very, very good. He's even more effective. Check it out.
You use the phrase propaganda, Professor, and I just have to ask you, what do you consider what Jimmy Kimmel was doing every night, or what Stephen Colbert was doing by having on only Democratic guests? Jimmy Kimmel Monday night flat lied about the shooter. Back in the spring, he egged his audience on in cheering on the violence against and wanting, kind of wishing, I think, the downfall of a publicly traded company, Tesla. Do you consider that to be propaganda? Is it good for a business?
Do you consider that to be free speech, Scott?
You use the phrase propaganda.
I'm asking you. You used the words free speech before. Do you consider that free speech?
I consider it to be speech, and he's obviously free to say it.
Will you defend that speech in this country that will defend to the death the speech of others? Will you defend Jimmy Kimmel's speech?
Do I defend Jimmy Kimmel going on television and saying that a shooter from the left...
Do you defend his right to do so?
He has a right to do so, but he does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people and attacks half this country on a nightly basis.
Whoa.
Exactly. And then Abby's like, whoa, he's right.
I know.
He's right, so we can't have him be right. Oh, yeah. I mean,
so I got to jump in here and try to make a different point because Scott's on this one.
He's absolutely right. Like, I'll defend your right to say your stupid crap and I guess lie. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be ramifications for that. And you're not entitled to a job. You can go spew that nonsense on Twitter, because we see it all the time, or on Instagram, any social platform. You can go spew it on one of those, like, whatever it is, like those places that everybody goes where it's like an online place for
Reddit.
Thank you. Those places, or whatever it is these people go where they charge people to see them spew all the lies or hear them.
Substack.
Those places. I feel like everybody goes to like Substack and places like that. There's another one begins with a P. I can't remember what it is. Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's not. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like, I don't, anyways, but
I can't remember.
This is what they do is they end up going to those platforms and then charging them a subscription for them to hear their lies. He should do that. Go do that.
Nobody's stopping him.
Nobody's stopping him. I totally support that. I support that. Absolutely. I do, Mr. Professor.
Well, they also got into a bit of a tussle about just what would Scott do if he offended somebody in the audience and this happened to him. And again, Scott is perfect.
Scott, but I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know here. You sometimes offend people. I hear about it on the socials. Do you think that you should then be held to the same standard that you're asking for, that if someone says that you're offensive, that you're not doing civic discourse, that CNN should kick you off? I'm not worried about you and that happening to you in the present regime, but I am worried about other people in this building.
Two things. We don't fall under the same statutory regime. A. B, I expect to get fired every day. This is a tough business. And if I were Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, I'm surprised that a guy who once wore blackface and caused large-breasted women to jump on trampolines lasted this long in the media business to begin with. He was long past his sell date, and the fact that he couldn't realize that and was going down this road of partisan hackery, being unfunny and demonized.
Again, she has to cut him off.
I know. And I love the professor's like, oh, shit, I forgot about the blackface and the boobs.
Right.
Forgot about the boobs. Oh, God. Yeah, that's inconvenient, isn't it, Mr. Professor?
It's a little inconvenient.
Right.
So the last clip that includes Scott is when Abby starts to bring up, and the points are fair to some extent. And we'll talk about, what's going on with this potential merger and Brendan Carr getting into the midst of it and all of that. But here is the last clip that includes Scott Jennings.
Scott Jennings, you were at this table last night and you defended free speech. Tonight, we are seeing the FCC chairman explicitly threatening a company over speech that they don't like. You're good with it or not?
Well, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's still free to speak. He just isn't necessarily free to do it on ABC, which obviously made a business decision. I see everybody rushing to blame the administration for this tonight. But you had Nexstar, which owns a bunch of ABC affiliates, and Sinclair Group, which owns a bunch of ABC affiliates. saying they were mad about what he did. I'm sure it generated massive numbers of viewer complaints into the affiliates. A smart TV person said the only thing you can't do in TV is piss off the affiliates. And I think that's what they did.
So then why did Brendan Carr have to say, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way? And then he went on to say that they can either censor Jimmy Kimmel or the FCC will have more work to do. And as you may know, Nexstar has business before the FCC. They have a deal to purchase another TV group, Tenga, for $6.2 billion. In order to do that, they need Brendan Carr to say, yes, you may own more TV stations than is legally allowed right now. So
that's the rub. So this is what people are grasping onto, the fact that Brendan Carr, the FCC chair, is talking about this, openly recognizing, as he did with Sinclair and as he also did with Nexstar, praising them essentially for doing the right thing. So people feel like that's an overreach, essentially. And then
that he's strong arming somehow. There's governmental strong arming here. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
That's what people are saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is the accusation. And then I loved this, by the way, but I can see where people would be like, yikes. So Brian Stelter reached out to him and said, do you have a comment now that ABC has pulled Jimmy Kimmel's show? And he sent that GIF from The Office of them doing this, right? That was Brendan Carr's response, which, I mean, I'm sorry. I love him. I cannot help it.
I know, I do too.
But
I can totally help it. And I love this. I totally can help it.
But you can see where people are like, this seems a little problematic.
Right.
We need to talk about All Family Pharmacy and my huge bad on Monday when I didn't have the one drug that I needed to have on board here. That was my bad. Although then I didn't know I had a kidney stone. But anyway,
you didn't.
All Family Pharmacy could have had me covered.
They could have. And my husband just had a knee replacement, you guys. For the past 3 weeks, I've been nursing him back to health too. And this house has been upside down. But y'all know when it rains, it pours. And last night he was like, Amy, I think I'm getting a sinus infection. So y'all, I have been in and out of doctor's offices like 4 times a week for the past 3 weeks. And the last thing I'm going to do is drive this man to a doc in the box for some antibiotics for a sinus infection. So since we have a stash from All Family Pharmacy, I was like, here you go. This is what you need, because All Family Pharmacy is convenient. They are patient first. They're independent. They're going to connect you with a licensed U.S. doctor who approves prescriptions online. We always have a stash from them. We just have it in our pantry. So I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. They have everything, all the antibiotics. They have stuff that you probably need every single month that you are taking right now. And you should probably check that out. You can go to allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks, see what you need. And then you could probably get that filled. They have ivermectin. They have mebendazole. They have hydroxychloroquine. They have antibiotics. They have all that kind of stuff. So check them out. allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. Use code chicks. Order your stuff today. And just get your stash. Get control.
I think it's code chicks10, right?
Chicks10. I'm sorry. allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. Code chicks10. Mock is right.
Chicks10. So Glenn Beck posted, I've been in broadcasting my whole life. I'm the first to say abolish the FCC and that government should have no involvement in kicking people like Jimmy Kimmel off the air. That being said, I doubt that's what happened. Between Kimmel's despicable joke about Charlie and his show's terrible ratings, I don't think Sinclair or Nexstar needed any help suspending him. Good riddance.
Yeah,
and I think he's absolutely right about that.
100%. 100% I agree with Glenn Beck.
And then Ilya Shapiro said 3 things can be true. Kimmel was losing money for the network and affiliates, so ABC seized on this to oust him.
Yep.
There was thus no government coercion here, let alone the tech government collusion of the Biden years. And FCC statements were unhelpful because it does make it look like the threat of government action for bad viewpoints.
Yeah,
all of those things can be true.
I think so too. And I think like number 3, they probably should have just stayed. They probably should have just not said anything, because it just gives fuel to the liberal fire. But I honestly think number 1 is very true. I think that they were looking for an excuse to bag this guy because he was useless. He's becoming a drain. They were paying him what? Somebody's like $16 million a year. Is that what it was?
I don't even know.
Like way too much. They were paying him way too much. He's not worth it. He's not funny. I don't think he was making them the money that they needed to have him make. And so these companies are going to make decisions based on the bottom line. We work in a media environment. We have for many, many years. It's all about the money. I mean, it comes down to that. You can work with nice people, but at the end of the day, if you are not making them money, you will be cut loose. That's how it works in radio and TV. You will be cut loose. It's all about the bottom line. And I don't think that he was making them money. I don't.
I mean, I think this is all really on the up and up. And as much as I love Brendan Carr, maybe just don't say so much. You know what I mean? Like, just maybe
I agree.
You don't need to chime in here is all.
I think personally he was just like, yes.
I know. I
think
think that's exactly right.
Kept it inside a little bit. Yeah, exactly.